Over a 20-week period, we were able to take our Gorilla Batu member from the photo on the left, soft, out of condition, and poor habits, to the photo you can see on the right-hand side, where he's now jacked, lean, and overall ready to go and take on life. Dom actually came to me after watching the channel for a while, and he came to me because he had a big life event that is going to be coming up in June of this year that he wanted to be mentally ready for. If you're a viewer of this channel or a returning viewer of the channel, you'll know that the main reason we get the results we do is because of the mindset and our no BS approach to getting results. I won't hide how we get there, but I will tell you the tactics is important, fine. However, it's the mindset behind it and most importantly, the principles that get results like this. Because I always say to Gorilla Batu members, this is simply just a vehicle. This is just the vessel we use. The physique transformation, the six-pack, the abs, the muscle, it's the vessel we use. What this is really about is transforming your character so that you can go and take on hard things in life, so you can go and take on life's challenges. Because without that, you've got your current version of you that is where you are right now, that is a reflection of your own thoughts and your own brain that got you to look like the photo on the left. However, we know that can't be trusted, so we must change that first, because you right now, trying to go to this new version of you, there will always be this constant pull to just snap back to the old version of you, because you're trying to pull against your current identity. Think of it like an elastic band that just wants to snap straight back. We want to do the opposite. We want to get it to flip and snap forward to fix for you. So the first thing I make Gorilla Batu members do when they join is to create the 2.0 version of you. The athlete version of you, the better version of you. Because as you can imagine, when Dom came to me, his habits in the beginning were, on the weekend, not congruent with who he needed to be. Consuming alcohol, doing whatever else, diet wasn't in a good space. So mentally, you're not going to be in a good space. I just went to New York for the other day, and like, if you go slightly off plan or to a new location, like, you're just not as adherent and you just don't feel as sharp in the brain. Now back straight to routine, good diet, good coffee, sharp brain, lots of sleep. You're a different person. You make stronger, better decisions. So it's no wonder if that's your basic attack on the weekend, you're consuming things that aren't incongruent with a goal, then of course, like, mentally, you're going to be in a poor space. Like, the fuel you put in your body will reflect directly into the actions that come out of you. So we must fix those first. So, when the guys come to me, we create the 2.0 version of them. This is, who do you want to become? Don't think of what we need to do. The tactics will come, absolutely, but think, who do we need to become? Think of the thoughts you would need to have, the mindset that comes with it, the affirmations you would tell yourself, the people you'd hang around with, what you'd do on a weekend, what you'd read it or watch in your spare time, and create that new character. Make this exciting. Look at this as a warpath you're about to go on, because if you try and do it from who you are now and just think, I'm trying to get in shape, I'm trying to follow a plan, it won't work for you. There are so many fitness videos out there online, but why is there not more people that are 10% body fat? Because it's not the tactic, it's not the issue. It's important, for sure it's important, and good tactics will be efficient and walk hand in hand. But what's important is you fix the principle first. That's why in the start of all these videos I say to you, fix your character first, the six-pack will follow. It's not even about the six-pack, it's about what the six-pack gave you. It's about what it meant. It's about the fact that no one can give it to you. You can't even go and buy it. You have to just simply do the work, and the reflection is there on your body. That's why I speak about this first and foremost, and that's the first thing we made him do. Now, in terms of the basic tactics in order to get you in shape, we actually followed, and this may surprise you, but again, it's a realistic 20-week transformation. And why I say realistic, because it's for someone that has a busy job, commutes to work, has children, has other life stresses that go on outside. That's normal. If you've got that going on, don't think you're hard done by. That is the norm. That's the standard for most people. So why I say it's realistic is the plan needs to be set up in that way. So this guy actually trained 3 days per week. With 20 weeks of good solid training and me watching his form, in 20 weeks with that level of training, you can still develop the amount of muscle he did. And you think, oh wow, that looks pretty cool, but it's definitely doable. What split did we follow? We followed a full body split. This was made up of 2 workouts, full body A and full body B. And they sister each other in terms of movement pattern. So if it's a pull down or a vertical pull movement, on the sister session, it's a horizontal pull. Likewise for pushing, same, some form of elbow extension and elbow flexion, some form of shoulder delt movement, and then some form of knee flexion and hip flexion. That's the way we break it down into movement patterns when it's a 3-day training split. Because frequency still wants to be adhered to. You still want to hit the muscle 3 times. Well, you'll hit it 3 times per week with this, but volume will not be there. But volume doesn't need to be, because if you're a fairly new-ish beginner to training and you start to apply the training methods we speak about, look at it as a new dosage of strong medicine you're giving your body. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, you're going to lift in a way that you've probably not lifted before. So when you're doing your movements, you're lifting with intent. You're not moving the load from A to B. You're stretching and shortening the working muscle. Think of where does the muscle start, i.e. the chest, starts here by the sternum, runs across the rib cage, inserts onto the upper arm. So when you're training your chest, you're not pressing the load up and down. You're driving the bicep across the body to then contract the muscle. When you lift, you're going to lift slow. So you're going to come down 3, 2, 1, pause, then drive back up. So again, time under tension is being used. If you're used to each rep taking 2 to 3 seconds, now it takes 5 to 6. You're going to get a lot more stimulus. You're going to put a lot more mechanical tension through the muscle. We've got dial in range of motion. Are we maxing out the range of that movement at the joint? Are we lengthening the muscle as much as we could do? Because if you're only doing half reps, you're only going to get half the gains. So make sure we're going for a full range of motion. Obviously, we've just spoke about the arm path, bringing the origin insertion together. And then finally, once we've got those 3 in order consistently, what do we look at then? Intensity. Are we training to 1 to 0 reps in reserve? How would you know this? Because your last rep would take somewhere around a minimum of 3 seconds to contract the muscle, and or you might not complete the rep entirely because you failed, and that's fine. That's how we know you're training well. Train like that and hit the muscle twice per week, you'll be golden. As seen from the evidence in this result, you can develop a nice physique off that. And if you're a busy individual, then it's still doable and still achievable. Now, for sure, if you've been training for 2+ years and you can go 4 days instead of 3, obviously run that, of course, because it's an extra bit of volume. We can double up our back exercises, chest exercises. Weaker areas can get focused. Brilliant, for sure. However, if you're busy, then a 3-day split will work for you. Now, the next thing we then followed on was nutrition. To put it bluntly, and to make this as simple and digestible for you to follow, what you're going to do in this instance is you are going to find out your maintenance from some form of calorie calculator online. You're going to weigh yourself for 7 days and eat that amount of food. You will accurately track the data. People can tell you methods to work out your calories. Honestly, the best method to do so is you eat a certain amount and you weigh yourself daily, because that is going to give you accurate data, and data drives decisions. Again, that's one of the reasons we get the results we do, because it's all done off data. I'm not plucking this out of thin air. I'm looking at the data and then adjusting from there. So how would you set up your macros? Well, let's say you've come now, you've got your calorie target, you sat just below maintenance at around 200 calories below that target. Let's say you're dropping quite nicely. Perfect. We're going to run this out another week. You're going to make sure your protein is sat. With the protein, what I would say is, while the rule of 1 gram per pound of body weight protein works very well, if you're high body fat, you don't need that much protein, because obviously body fat doesn't require protein. It's the muscle tissue that does. So you can go off your lean mass times by 2.4. So you'll work out your body fat. Then the best way to do this, by the way, at home is a photo of you, which you will have taken anyway, and then also a visual online, and you can compare the two. I've got a video, by the way, if you need to work out your body fat at home, so you can just go and watch that. Then you times your lean mass by 2.4, and that is the protein target you're going to get in grams. Or as a quick rule of thumb, you can do your height in centimeters. That will also work. Then you're going to get your fat target, and you're going to set it to 20% of the overall calorie target. You'll just need to times the number by 9 to convert it from calories back into grams, so you understand that. And then the rest can be filled with carbohydrates. And that is the meal plan macros that you're going to run with. When you set up your meal plan, you want to make sure you're trying to get as much of it as you can from individual foods. So a typical day in the life of eating for me, and you can copy this if you want, is in the morning I'll have eggs, oats, berries, and the one ingredient I'm having throughout the day that is, you could say, not a single ingredient, is jam. So I'll have that in a meal. Meal 2, chicken, rice, veg. Meal 3, beef, rice, veg. Pre-gym will be oats, jam, and berries, and that's just a simple diet I like to follow. It's got a balance. It's got fats coming in from the eggs and the red meat, and then also leanness coming from the chicken. Rice for carbs, which you could swap for potato to add more fiber and volume, but you're also getting a good amount of fiber and volume from the veg. When it comes to veg, I'm having tomato, spinach, cucumber, or red onion as well, and then berries to pack out the meal from a fruit perspective. That's essentially the meal plan, very similar to what we ran with him. Obviously, I can tell you what to eat, but you're going to need to be able to eat it yourself. So I could tell you to eat onions, you might not be able to digest them. I could tell you to eat oats, they might absolutely bloat your stomach out. You need to find your foods which are suitable for you. I have made a video saying the best diet plan to follow, and then basically in that diet I'll go through the options to swap and change them out. So again, just tag that down as well. So after you've gone through this, you've got how to work out your body fat at home, how to best meal plan to follow, and I've also done one on training splits as well, so you can work out which training split is efficient for you. Now, when it comes to driving fat loss, I am a big advocate of turning you into athletes first, not starving children. So you will walk 10,000 steps each and every day. It's very important for your own mental health for you find the time to do that each and every day. It depends on how quick you walk. You're looking at around like an hour and 40, all up for 10k steps. Obviously, you will accumulate steps throughout the day anyway. Where I like to do this is right at the end of the day, because it allows me to unwind after everything I've done. So steps are great for dropping body fat, absolute power, but they're also very good for keeping your mental space in a good order. Now, I also like to drive cardio. So cardio will be done at a heart rate of 120 to 130. You'll start at 20 minutes per day, progress to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 when we need to see a drop off on the scale. This is what we do for him. Now, what you can use cardio for is if you've ever been running and you have your headphones in, you'll get the endorphins flowing and you'll get good thoughts coming through your brain. So I personally, and I'm in a dieting phase at the minute, so I'm running 30 minutes of cardio daily. I'll have my music on, and this is where your best ideas come from. This is where your best thoughts come from. This is where you can forward plan your life and how you want things to go. Because as long as you've seen a mental movie in your own brain of where you need to move to, the same way when you see who you need to become written on paper, your brain has a pre-mapped out, proven route to go through. So then when it comes to the real term, you're more likely to achieve it. So I want you to use cardio as this of planning the life. Steps is there to clear the brain at the end of the day. The cardio is there for the visionary and what is moving forward. Obviously, the gym floor performance is there to build the tissue, and the diet itself also helps in dropping body fat. We can understand then, as we went through this transformation, we just read the data. Are we dropping? Yes. Are we dropping? No. Okay, we're going to pull a lever. We're either going to turn the dial of cardio going up, or we're going to turn the dial down of food that goes in. When we pull from food with this result, we will take from the fats first, because I want to keep your diet as voluminous and as full and as ideally energy intensive as possible. Most people will be more efficient at using carbohydrates for gym floor performance than they will be at using fats. So I pull from the fats first and I keep the carbs nice and high. That way we were able to still drive performance in the gym and able to still build the amount of tissue we did. Now, that all sounds nice and it works very, very well. The most challenging part, honestly, about this for me and getting results is just simply keeping you on the straight line. So, and I call this like, it's very similar to like the straight line system. You will be going from A to B. In one straight line would be the most efficient way to get there. However, you'll be going through and life will throw a curveball at you and it will knock you off the center line. And when I say the center line, it's your mind's ability to focus on one goal and not veer off. However, some life event will throw you off the center line. That's going to happen. Life will constantly throw events at you to move you off the center line. Your mindset, if it has not been trained in the beginning, will throw you off the center line with it. It may even go further past the point that has thrown you off too. So it's important that we then bring you and train your emotional stillness to where something throws you off the center line, but it doesn't affect you from an emotional standpoint. You read it, you understand it, but you don't act on it. You use this as mental training in order to get you back onto the center line. If you've ever meditated, you'll understand that the way to train meditation is the rep is when you are in the meditation, your mind wanders, and then you bring it back to focus. That's the rep. That's the coming back to the center line. In this analogy, it's the life event that's happened. Now you want to retrain your brain to come back to the center line and keep you focused on one goal. It can come through challenges, but it can also come through thoughts and shiny objects that come along the way. So you might be making a good amount of progress, seeing a bit of progress, and then decide, I want to go and try this new element of fitness because this looks kind of cool. Your goal was to get to 10% body fat and really change the dynamic of your physique. Now you're somehow like doing double under burpee over bar and you're doing high rocks, but that was never the goal in the first place. Most people get like this because of the constant influx of information that comes to us on a day-to-day. So your ability, and what I get the guys to do, is honestly just to shut a lot of things off. Don't watch as much TV and Netflix. Don't watch as much news. Don't listen to it. I tell people, like, pick your 1 to 2 or maybe 3 people that you want to get information from online, and only stick to those. Because if you're constantly getting it from other people, he contradicts him, is he right, is he wrong? None of them are right and none of them are wrong. It's just their perspective on them, and it's what you want to align yourself to. So every time we'll go through towards, and this happens more towards the back end of the transformation, where your own brain will try and come up with ideas and things they should do, or to try and make it easier. Simply, we just realign and bring it back to the center line. Are these thoughts that are going to take us towards the goal, or are they coming in to distract us? And it's important that week on week we reflect and look at those. And again, this is done in the check-in that we do with our Gorilla Platoon members. So we can understand that in order to get a result like this, the result is there so that we can get you to develop your character so you're ready for whatever is coming throughout the rest of the year, and that from then on into, further into your life. That's why we do this. We do this so that your character has been developed. Fix your character first, the physique will follow. Live like an athlete, you'll look like an athlete. Live like someone with poor habits, you will reflect that within your physique and within your mindset. Like, it is all done first through solid levels of mindset. Without that, if you have a poor mindset trying to do this, you will not be able to hack it. You won't be able to hack the hunger, you won't be able to hack how long you think this is going to go on for, and you won't have the ability to say no to things. You're going to have to be uncomfortable in this environment. Like, he would make food with his children, but he'd eat his own meal plan. You need to be okay with that. If you're serious about changing your life, then you need to be okay with that. But again, if you're becoming that better character version of you, who are they going to respect more? Someone with high levels of discipline and solid character? Would they want to be like him, or would they want to be someone... And again, who would you want to pass down? Do you want to pass down the poorer version of you to your children, or do you want to pass down the stronger, disciplined character version of you? Because you'd want them to reflect like you. So it's important that they see you doing the disciplines. It's important they see you better in yourself. Do it for them, and that's how you do it for them. You sit down to eat a meal with them that's full of carbs and whatnot. In the short term, might think it's good for them. In reality, over the long term, they don't win, and neither do you. So it's important that we fix that. So you fix your character first. You create the 2.0 version of you, the athlete version of you, and then the habits will follow that, because you need to live in accordance in the day-to-day. And your routine should be structured out and written out in accordance with that new character version of you. Living congruent with that, stay on the center line, and over time you will get the physique, and then you will have the mindset to go with it. And let me tell you, it's much easier to maintain that physique than it is to get it. So this is why in these videos, I tell you exactly, these are the tactics we use to get there. This is how to plan your food. My tactics are, I like to keep food high but cardio high. I like to train like this. We follow tempo, range of motion, intensity, arm path, and we look at their form clips. I give you the tactics, but the tactics alone are not going to get you to the result. What's going to get you to the result is the soft skills, the character development underneath. That's what this is really about. That's why I speak so heavily about this in our videos. So if you found this video useful, great, subscribe to the channel. If you want to come and join us inside the Gorilla Platoon and we change your life as well, then there'll be a link in the description. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.